Hi, my name's Eneix with Fannit Marketing Services. Let's talk about reputation management today. I want to talk about two things. What you should do if you get a bad review on your Google business profile. And second, what you should do if you're searching for your brand name and you find a horrible article about your brand or maybe yourself, and what you can do in that scenario to kind of mitigate all the damage on that. All right, so first off, let's talk about Google reviews. If you have a bad Google review come in and it's from a legitimate customer, there's really not much you can do except do better next time. You can go back to the customer and ask them if there's something you can do to try to repair that relationship. You can upsell if it's maybe potentially. You could go ahead and add value to them potentially. Usually I find that's the type of customers that give you about a 3-star review. They're usually able to be recovered and there's something you can do. If they give you a 1-star, there might not be much you can do. Maybe it was just a fluke and you're going to have to chalk it up to maybe doing better next time. Now, if it's somebody who's spamming you, there is a way to remove that review. If it's from a competitor or even if it's an employee who wrote a bad review about you, you can absolutely remove those. Google does not allow that. That is against their terms and policies. So if it's somebody who's spamming you though, which does happen, spam attacks happen. We've gotten a spam attack ourselves before. You can go to Google and look in the community, and there are people who actually help with being a mediator between you and Google for removing your spam attack, and they do it absolutely free. It's really cool. The community is awesome. So you can just go there and you can create a new ticket basically in the Google community, and you can ask somebody to help you to remove that spam attack. What will happen is they'll reach out to Google. It'll take Google some time. Usually it takes about 1 to 2 weeks for them to start removing those bad reviews. And then they can also freeze your Google business profile so that no more bad reviews, if it's a spam attack, can come in. So it just keeps those spammers at bay. So if you're being spammed randomly for some reason, you can do that. Also, if somebody wants to hold you hostage and say, hey, I'm going to spam your Google business profile with a bunch of bad reviews unless you pay me money, you can go ahead and just reach out to the Google business community and ask them for help. Here's a couple tips though. Make sure and don't put your brand in the Google business community. Go ahead and use a Google Doc and link to that Google Doc. And so it's accessible, but don't put your brand there because those community tickets can be searched. If that spammer finds your ticket, well, they won't know that. Well, then they'll know exactly that you're trying to play some defense, and then they might just up it some more. But if you just go ahead and keep it outside of the search engine results page, then they'll not really know why those reviews are being removed, and they'll probably just go away. So go ahead and just keep your brand name out of that ticket. All right, so those are Google Business Profile reviews and some things that you can do in those different scenarios. The next one is if you're searching your brand and you just find a horrible article about you or your brand, what can you do in that scenario? First off, I want to give you some proper expectations on this. If you have an article that's negative about you, it is very difficult to remove this type of stuff, especially if it's on a news, like a local news channel's website or something like that. Here we have the Seattle Times. I saw this with a customer where they had a Seattle Times article written up about them that was negative. There is very little you can do with that. They are a 500-pound gorilla. They've got tons of backlinks. They've got tons of trust. And if they've written a negative article about you, you can't just do something to remove that from the search engine results page. So you're going to have to deal with it in a different way. If it's a website that doesn't have a lot of backlinks going to it, not a lot of trust, there can be something that you can do about that to push them down in the search engine results pretty quickly. So here's what I would do in both of those scenarios. Go ahead and fight that 500-pound gorilla with another 500-pound gorilla. And a really easy tool that you have that's totally free at your disposal are your social profiles, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your LinkedIn. Those are super authoritative and trusty websites. So go ahead and make sure that your name or your brand name is very clear at the very top of those, and go ahead and make those profiles active so that you have content on them. From the websites that you do have access to, link to those social profiles, which will help them get more trust and rank even higher in the search engine results. And that's really going to help out with pushing those bad articles down the search engine results. And that's a really easy, simple thing that you can do today. Another thing that you can do is you can do your own press release campaign. So you can go ahead and go to Fiverr.com. You can look at Haro outreach experts, and you can hire one of them to do some Haro outreach with your brand name. Now, these articles are going to give you mentions. You can link back to your website with those mentions, which then links back to your social profiles, which can help indirectly with the rankings of those profiles. but they can also rank as far as in the SERPs. If you have your name in there, potentially you can get them on the first page of the search engine result page. Now, not as likely that that's going to beat out a Seattle Times type article for your business, but you can also do some higher end press release work. And for that, you're going to need to hire a more traditional PR expert who's going to get you into websites such as Forbes or other websites that are just really great, and you can put your own article on those sites. You can also try medium.com. Sometimes that can rank pretty well, and that one's actually free. So the cost, though, for those more traditional PR articles can be pretty expensive. I talked to a PR firm not just a few weeks ago, and they charge about $2,000 to $3,000 a month for you to start getting insertions into different PR articles to then manage your reputation, of course. So those are the different things you can do. I wouldn't freak out if you have negative information up there with a bad article. There are things that you can do to help mitigate that. Another thing that you should do, go to Fiverr and go ahead and look at a gig that will help you with putting your name information on the top right of Google whenever your name is searched. So that can be a really useful thing to just take up more space on the search engine results if you go ahead and just hire somebody to fill out the knowledge graph for your specific name information and all that. So that's another great thing. All right, so that's what you can do for reputation management for Google. And also, if somebody puts a really bad article up there, if you like this content, go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe. And if you have any questions for your digital marketing, we can help you out. We can do a free audit and give you an idea of how you can overtake your competitors by filling in the gaps that you're missing within your digital marketing so you can be more competitive. All right, guys, I'm looking forward to talking to you next time.